Thank you, Karen Ceorla. And okay. Minister, thank you very much. I've raised the need for, I have two issues here, so they're all intertwined. So I've raised the need for a proper ambulance base for Carlow with you before. And while I appreciate being given the opportunity to speak to you again, the last time I was here, I was told Carlow was second on a priority list for a new ambulance base, and my understanding is that is true. But it's on this. It's the southeast is where that is. My understanding is. But the problem is, I found out since, Minister, that there's actually a list nationally, and I'm finding it very hard to find out where we are on that. Now, the HSE estates are committed to land at Kelvin Grove for a new build, and that is so important. And I just want to find out about the capital plan, but also about funding for drawings or design, or what maybe is there an update on that? As you know, a few months ago I was fortunate enough to bring Minister Chambers, who was visiting Carlow, to the ambulance base to see there the need for a new ambulance base. And I've also had a virtual meeting with our Taoiseach, and I've also had meetings with the National Ambulance Management with responsibility for the area. Nobody is in any doubt that we need that ambulance base, but in the meantime we need a major refurbishment on what is there. I have also extended my support to the service, to the HSE, to find a place to rent, and I'm just wondering, Minister, do we need to also look at finding a place to rent at the moment, because it's just not suitable, the premises that the ambulance paramedics are in. And I am totally committed to resolving this, because it is a very serious issue for Carlow. And I'll just give you a small, I suppose, explanation of why this is so important to me. The base is the ambulance base is in a prefab, which is part of a delivery unit that used to belong to the St. Nicholas Hospital. There's no training facilities, there's no canopy over the vehicles. Their store is beside an adjacent methadone clinic, which has created added risk to the staff. And the staff are professionals, and they deserve to be treated as professionals. And you know, I find myself, and I often think about it, Minister, if that was in a private facility, I mean, would it be allowed to be kept open? I don't know, that's just my own opinion on it. And I know that there has been an extra 10 million in the budget this year, and I'm just wondering about the capital projects and what is the story there, because I think the main concern for me is Kelvin Grove is a HSE site. And because it's HSE, I firmly believe that it should move quicker, and I would ask for an update on that. But I also want to ask you about discussions regarding the understaffed of the South region and recruitment that is going on. I'm just wondering, what is the update on that? Because, and Minister, I know you're aware of this yourself, but in your own remit for elderly, recruitment seems to be an issue. And it is so important. We would have seen, particularly over COVID, I think if anything it really prioritised for us the great work that our healthcare staff do, and our ambulance paramedics, and the way they called to people's houses, and the way they were, you know, they just worked 24/7. But I just think it's important that recruitment and enough staff is there. And again, I just want to know what is the update on that, because again, it's important that everything is staffed, or every area is staffed, Minister, and that we have enough staff. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ceann Comhairle. Deputy, thank you very much for the question, and I know you have raised it many, many times. So I welcome the opportunity to address the House on behalf of Minister Donnelly regarding ambulance services and resources in the South East. Since 2016, the National Ambulance Service, including its South East region, has undergone significant reform and modernisation involving the prioritisation of investment in new service developments, including increased manpower and fleet and improved technology. Since the end of 2016, National Ambulance Service staffing resources nationally have increased from 1,744 as at December 2016 to 2,049 at the end of January this year. So that's an increase of 305 whole-time equivalents, representing over 17% growth in staff over that time frame. I don't have the specific breakdown of the South East area. It is the case that ambulance services across the country are experiencing a very high demand for 999 services for patients, and last year saw a record of over 336,000 emergency ambulance calls. Delays in patient transfers at hospitals caused by extremely busy and pressurised emergency departments are currently presenting a particular challenge for the National Ambulance Service in meeting emergency response time targets. In response to these challenges, this year an unprecedented €200 million has been allocated, which includes €8 million for new service development. This funding will be invested in capacity building as well as increasing staffing within the Hear and Treat service in the National Emergency Operations Centre, which advises lower acuity patients of appropriate alternatives to hospital transfer. Overall, the funding for new service developments will allow for the recruitment of 128 additional whole-time equivalents. In addition, government investment in the National Ambulance Service has meant that 80 paramedics graduated at the end of 2021 from the National Ambulance Service College BSc Paramedics Studies programme. A further 200 student paramedics are currently enrolled at the college on various stages of the programme, and Minister Donnelly is pleased to note that the NAS 2022 recruitment programme for paramedics, student paramedics and intermediate care operatives was launched at the end of last month. So turning to the infrastructure in the South East and the particular questions you raised in your own constituency, the National Ambulance Service last year completed a detailed prioritisation assessment for all ambulance stations in the southern region. As a result of this assessment, a new ambulance base in Carlow has been confirmed as being the second highest priority for the National Ambulance Service in the South East. So that will answer one of your questions. It's not for the whole of Ireland, it's for the South East. The National Ambulance Service is working with HSE estates in planning a future replacement for the current facility. A greenfield site has been identified and is under consideration. Capital funding for the project will follow in accordance with overall prioritisation planning, and I can confirm that the Carlow Ambulance Base is progressing through the various stages outlined in the Public Spending Code. Finally, can I advise that a new 5-year National Ambulance Service strategic plan is currently being finalised by the HSE. This plan, elements of which have been funded in Budget 2022, will facilitate a strategic organisational redesign and will continue to focus on key priorities. In relation to your other question, the 2022 capital plan is under final review and has not yet been published, so therefore it is not appropriate at this moment to outline or comment on any of the specific details that are in it.
Well, again, I just want to thank you, Minister Butler, for that is a very comprehensive answer. I do welcome the increases in the ambulance paramedics, and again I can just speak on behalf of the crew in Carlow, just the excellent work as they have been doing across the country. In fairness, they have all done marvellous work, but I just think it is important that Carlow isn't forgotten and that there is enough staff within the South East region and for the ambulance paramedics, and I would ask maybe Minister that you might try and come back to me with an answer on that, because I just feel that would be a concern. But look, again, I can only just highlight that, you know, Carlow needs a new ambulance base and we need to have that. And I think we have a duty of care to our ambulance paramedics that do an excellent job. And I just want to say that I think all the funding that goes in to this type of work through the HSE and through the capital plan and through the government, Minister, it's just vital, because these services are vital for people and I know how hard they all work. So again, I know you'll keep me updated and I know you might come back to me with some of the answers that, some of the questions that I've answered that you're not able to answer tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy, and I think everybody in Carlow can be rest assured that Carlow will not be forgotten as long as Deputy Murnane-O'Connor is in the House, because, as I've said, you have raised this on so many occasions and I know how important it is. I can assure the House that the Government remains committed to resourcing the National Ambulance Service across the country, including the South East. As I have outlined in the limited time available to me, the National Ambulance Service is currently undergoing a multi-annual reform programme which is prioritising investment in new service developments, including increased manpower and fleet and improved technology. This has involved significant investment on the part of the Government. For instance, the €200 million being allocated to the NAS this year represents a rise of no less than €30 million from the allocation for 2019. This funding is facilitating an increase in paramedic staff numbers to target capacity deficits, and it's also been investment in the progression of the development of alternative patient care pathways. These include hear and treat and see and treat services which are designed to manage low acuity calls in an integrated manner, and which often means that an ED attendance can be avoided for these patients. I do think it's also really important as well to acknowledge the work that has been done, the fact that we have had 80 new paramedics trained this year, and that there's more being trained up. We often hear, I suppose, especially in the Department of Health, a lack of different definitions, whether it's psychologists or whether it's psychiatrists or whatever it is. But I do think the way to address the issue is to start at third level. And I know it takes a few years for these students to come through as trained paramedics, but I know it will be really, really welcome. So I'll pass on your questions to the Minister. Thank you.